Okay, here we go. Welcome to the Dudecast. Did that fucking work? Guys, I think it worked.
That appears to have worked,
Holy shit. We're all here. It's the Dudecast, and you're here. John, did you know? So, peace out. You motherfucker. He did it on purpose, didn't he? Yeah, he did. That motherfucker. That motherfucker. He just
no,
he just see, he just wants a fucking tradition. It's
Yeah.
good. It's good. We need traditions like that here at the Dudecast. But I want to let John know. John was asking about our podcast. He didn't know until today. Let's back up, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to introduce ourselves. I'm Adam. I'm the host. Cal and Skits. I'm going to point somewhere on the screen, but whenever I watch it, it's always wrong. So, yeah, Skits is with the Dude World Order here. And we used to have a Dudeist men's group, and John was a frequent friend of that. So he's here now. We're going to have some conversation. There's some things on our mind. But John, I wanted to say you'd be very proud of us dudes because we have like double-digit subscribers to this channel already.
Nice.
After single-digit months. So...
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what that says. Probably says more about the lack of other Dudeist content out there than it does the impeccable quality of these shows, which, if you can believe it, requires no editing, unless John starts talking about the Jews again. Let's keep that out of it this time, John. I'm just kidding, but but anyway, yeah, we are very happy to be here, and yeah, I think it's, people watch this like live, so we can talk about like recent events that have been happening. Because once again, in the news, as happens as Americans, we are of course being bombarded with the news that someone else has lost their shit. Not only flashed a piece out on the lanes, but the fucking post office too, and actually pulled the fucking trigger till it went click. And then, now people are dead and families are crying about it. And once again, we're faced with the fact that our, soulless, nutless politicians have done nothing to do anything about the issue for a long, long time. And we've been living with that. So we figured we'd get fucking real here. And where I want to kind of start this off is like, so with all these other religions, right? I mean, I feel like, okay, so here's the question I came up with. Let's distill it down. Is Dudeist simply like a good time, happy kind of religion where you have to kind of like already be just like happy-go-lucky? Or can a Dudeist like really find ways to deal with like some super shitty times, like national tragedies and, anger at political inaction and things like that? Like, how do we fucking abide? Skits, you're waving your head. Talk to me.
Okay, so no, well, we've discussed this before. In a lot of cases that I've spoke with other Dudists personally, as well as my own personal path into or onto the rug, no, being laid back, abiding does not come to me naturally. It does now. But that was not a trait that anybody would have claimed that I had up until whenever I got ordained 8 years ago, something like that, 7 years ago. That is not something that I would have ever. I couldn't even lie to you and know how to lie to you about being laid back. I was a very high-strung person, very high-tension person. As far as how to abide with the world at large, you tell me, man.
Because that's the thing. It's like people have very righteous anger, every reason to be very sad, very angry, very upset about the whole fucking thing. But nothing's happening. And part of me is like, how far can that go? Like you look throughout history is littered with examples of when the people just kind of snapped, So like, how far can we keep going where like Sandy Hook was how many years ago? Everyone thought that would turn the tide. If like
10 years.
10 fucking years of nothing happening
Mm-hmm.
after a massacre of children and no,
Well, I mean, that's not entirely true because the elected leaders offer thoughts and prayers in the aftermath. But
Got you
as
True.
far
there.
as doing anything useful, no.
Had a lot of
And
thought.
it's the thing is I've been thinking a lot about it today because I've been following the news, looking to see if they're going to find this crazy asshole who did this. They haven't yet. But I kind of get it why the dude ended up the dude because they make reference in the film that he was very passionate. He was very active. He co-authored the Port Huron Statement. He was part of the Seattle 7 with 6 other guys. But Vietnam didn't end for years and Nixon got elected and he just finally was like, nothing I can do about it. And I don't know if ultimately that's where we're all going to end up on this issue. I don't know.
Okay. I might push back on one part of that by saying I don't think he said nothing I can do about it. I think he just said nothing I can do about that. Like
Yeah.
specifically the political structure that he was
Oh
fighting.
yeah.
What he realized he could do something about was his state of being, because he was getting all uptight about it. He was getting all undued about it. And then somehow, and this is, I think, like, this is honestly why I wrote the book about Dudeism, because I think the books that have existed so far haven't really like discussed what maybe the Dudeist, might have practiced. I mean, I guess a little. They discuss meditation somewhat, but the focus was very philosophical, very mental, right? And I think that this is like a matter of consciousness, honestly, is like if you have the consciousness of like, a pinhole and you're looking at things very myopically, then yeah, there's no way out. There's no solution. Absolutely not. But if you can see a broader picture, and I think that's where Dudeism can come in. It can help you see a broader picture and not take shit so seriously. Then I think that's where abiding comes back in, you know?
I mean, and that's kind of where I'm at, and it's the same point that I always end up at is on the bigger scale. I will continue to support candidates who are willing to take this issue on. Beyond that, as a private citizen, there's nothing I can do about the macro issue really beyond that. So at that point, it becomes how do I maintain my own peace of mind so that I don't get so wrapped up in anger that we are a slave to the gun lobby in this country. And I just don't want to get so wrapped up in anger about that I lose sight of my own life because I've got only so many days here. And if I spend it worrying about something I really cannot control, then I'm wasting my time. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. I irritated and furious that we're a slave to the gun lobby that believes that anybody who wants one should have an assault weapon, even though they have evidence now that this guy was making threats. He still was able to legally procure assault weapons. Yes, I think that is terribly fucked up. I think something should be done about it. I can't spend my entire life fixated on that.
I think that everybody should get a gun as soon as they turn 18. The government should send you one.
Well, I mean, the
It's
state
going
of
to be a
Texas
rough.
operate.
It's going to be a rough first fucking like handful of years. I'm going to be honest. But like
Hey,
as you guys are
this.
talking about world issues, I'm on the opposite of it. I don't want any part of it. None of it is none of my business. The
Well,
problem with everything is people. Right?
yeah.
You can't govern people. We're not sheep. You can't govern us. Putting more laws is just gonna make more criminals. Um, Shit is awful. I don't know how to vet through it, but more laws has not helped us. All right, the Library of Congress is full of fucking laws that people break every single day, and they don't even know their laws. The lawmakers don't know their laws.
Oh.
John, you're super
The
worldly. What do you think?
So my first question is, Adam and Skits, why can I not see you? Did you turn off your camera, or is it a problem on my end?
It's probably just the way that your view is.
It's
My
probably just
view.
your view.
Should I change something?
Only if you want to see our gorgeous faces. Otherwise,
Of course, I want to see your
we're here
gorgeous
for
face.
the audio. I don't know. Maybe make your screen bigger. Mine just automatically went to 4 people. So
Right. No, there are four. There are four windows on my screen,
but it's
but
just an
two of them are
icon.
black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because of your connection. Sorry, that's your internet.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Both of your names are there with a
Yeah.
red dot indicating that you're recording. So
I
you're
mean,
saying I have a weak internet connection?
yeah. Anybody who posts this up will be able to see them. Just imagine what they look like.
I'm
I
still
see.
beautiful.
And okay, and Nick,
Gorgeous, Nick.
when did you start going by your last name and why?
Oh, I've always gone by my last name.
Ah, it's just your preference.
That's what everybody has always called me.
I see. Any reason why?
I'm schizophrenic.
Ah, Skits. Is Skits your real last name, or is that a nickname?
I don't know, officer.
Well, you do have the right to remain silent, so you don't have to answer that. I mean, I think there is a way for this to never happen to me, at least. I mean, if I were to get a gun and get trained in it and take it with me wherever I go, then if I'm ever in a bowling alley and this happens, I can immediately protect myself and the people around me, assuming I don't screw up by being having a lack of awareness. It's doubtful whether I am willing to go to that length to protect me against such an unlikely event.
Well, I mean, and yeah, I mean, I guess at the end we are all kind of responsible in a way for our own personal safety. I I just think when I see the numbers and I see, tomorrow is the 300th day of this year, and we've had 566 mass shootings in this country this year, and the year's not over. Something's got to change.
Yes, but the
But,
probability that any given individual, such as you or me, will have to face this is minuscule.
I would argue that any possibility is too high a possibility, but
Okay,
I
yeah,
get what you're
and
saying though.
in a sense, you're right. But are you willing to carry a gun with you wherever you go so that you'll be
Fuck no.
totally prepared if it ever happens to you?
Fuck no. Because one of the biggest lies we get sold is the only solution to a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. Because when 35 miles down the road in El Paso, when a guy went nuts in the Cielo Vista Walmart and killed 19 people for being Hispanic, there were good people in there with guns because it's Texas, and they hid. They went for cover. When that madman was shooting all the kids in Uvalde, Texas, the good cops with guns, they hid outside the school for 2 hours.
Why? They were
So
trained, weren't they?
Because self-preservation takes the top priority. And
Officer
there's a fucking
safety takes the top
So-
priority.
So taking away everybody's fucking chance of, I don't want to say being a hero, because what's a hero? But taking away everybody's chance with laws, regulations, the entire group of the alphabet boys, ATF, FBI, CIA, all of this is just, it's also lessening the chance of somebody being able to stop it.
But in order to protect yourself, would you need an assault rifle?
If I was in any of those cases, hell yeah.
I mean, I think it's a different perspective. I mean, it's just I look at it and I don't see a need for any civilian to have an assault rifle
Well, how many
at
rounds does a
all.
handgun hold? How many
I
handguns
don't,
do
I
I
don't
have
fucking know.
to?
dude, I don't know why any fucking human, why a soldier needs more and more and more and more and more advanced ways to kill other human beings. Like, bro, like, I
Self-preservation.
mean, how are we still here? How have not enough people been to like a festival or like a gathering or something where you just look around at like all the different people and you're like, holy shit, I don't know where anyone's from, but like we're all cool, we're all vibing, we're all just like people on this planet. Like, I know I sound like a fucking hippie, I get that, but it's like at a certain level, it's like, oh, because you're over this imaginary arbitrary border, like somehow you're a different type of human. Like, give me a fucking break, dude. I don't think anybody needs any of these weapons, and I just think this is just, it's a way for, it's like money, man. It's like a way for there to be power. You know, whoever has
Yeah.
the most guns or has the most power, the tightest borders, the strongest military, the most bombs. Like looking at pictures of like these fucking advanced fighter jets firing these like ridiculously advanced rockets and carpet bombing like these like just poor looking cities, like regular ass, like a suburb, you know? Like,
I mean, so to me, my biggest thing, and like one of the last things that I really have to say about it is what I would prefer is just a little bit of honesty from our elected leaders who are taking donations from the NRA and all and the gun lobby. Don't offer thoughts and prayers. When this shit happens, because it is going to happen,
mm-hmm.
just say, well, that's the breaks. That
Yep.
happened.
Yep.
Be honest about it. This is the society that some of these people want, and just be honest about it. Because I was texting Skits today. We were talking about it. I said, if my daughter gets killed in a mass shooting, the first person who comes up to me after the fact and offers me thoughts and prayers is getting my Dudeist fist in their mouth.
Yeah.
Because I will say, you did nothing to prevent this. I don't want to hear shit about it now.
For me, like, I'm pretty sure if my son died in a mass shooting, like, I would go underground, plan for a number of years, and just go completely commando on a whole lot of people, you know? Like,
Could do that.
Law-abiding citizen style.
that's what, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I just know for people there gets to be a certain point, but at the end of the day, like, we all knew where this was going. We're all gonna die one day. Nobody survives this shit, you know. Whether we go out in a mass shooting or we go out in a, you know, a hospital bed, it's like, what the fuck are we doing with our lives in the meantime? So, you know, to get back to the point, I think that's like more what Dudeism addresses.
Yeah,
What
I
do we do in the
had a
meantime?
side question.
Yeah.
Because I think we all kind of navigate through different Dudeist groups on social media. We interact with different people.
Yeah.
What I've tend to notice, and this is a tangent here, is that Dudeists tend to be generally as a group left of center on a lot of social issues. And I was just wondering if you guys have found that to be the same. And then do you think it's that Dudeism like attracts people of more of a left wing mindset, or is it coincidence?
As somebody that identifies as, well, under no political affiliation, but I'm more libertarian and more Republican, honestly. The Democrat side, in my opinion, has a lot of okay ideas now, but I've actually read a history book and know what the party's about. So
It's
Oh,
changed. It's changed. I mean, it changed with Franklin Roosevelt and later on with the civil rights legislation under Lyndon Johnson. The Republican Party used to be the more liberal left wing party,
yep.
but that gradually changed beginning in the early 1900s and ending with the 60s.
I know.
It's different.
Weird
than
how they
it used to.
decided to change sides instead of us just making one big
No,
magical, group of
bro,
people that might actually work together.
to my mind, for the last like 100, 200 years, it's been basically one party just figuring out what will get votes and getting them. Like, oh, the people want that, so civil rights, that's what got it. Barack Obama, that's what we wanted at the time we wanted it. A super eloquent minority, great. What we wanted when we elected George Bush, oh, we want a homely, good old boy we can have a beer with, like it's all one fucking ruling party. None of them are ruling it. They're just the face of it.
Well,
I have come to that inescapable conclusion, and I don't know how anyone can, you know what I mean? Like,
what my conclusion is from what I've seen with like the 24-hour news cycle is that they cover politics like a sporting event now,
yes,
where you have the
yes.
red team and the blue team.
And if one
And as
side
a
is winning, then
result,
one side is losing. Like that's
yeah.
the idea. If you got a bill
And as
passed
a,
that like helps orphan babies or something, like
yeah,
the other side loses because they chose to vote against it. Like,
yeah. And so you end up with one
Oh,
side that is convinced the other team is communist, and that team thinks the other side is all Nazis. And I think as Dudeist, I think the philosophy basically calls, and where I kind of end up is I'm kind of in the middle, and I'm like, I just want all you fucking idiots to get along and get shit done.
Yep.
You're not scoring any points with me by taking cheap shots at each other. Get shit done.
But it's like,
My dude.
to a Dudeist, the fabric of reality is like a big rug. And I think to a lot of religious fundamentalists, and I won't just say Christians, there's a lot of other religious fundamentalists, but the world is more like a porcelain house or something. It's very specific. Everything is exactly in its place. And if you move it at all, like it just cracks and breaks, It's very structured, rigid, set, fixed. And that's how the world has to be. And then those people get power, and it's like, fuck me, man. Most of us don't, you know what I mean? Most of us don't see reality that way. It's not like we're living some epic where, it's only been 600 years and your very specific savior that only spoke to some very specific people is coming back at a very specific time. And we have to listen to your very specific beliefs if we want to be on the good side of that when it happens. Like, I'm so tired of that shit, and that's where,
We lost some very specific gold tablets.
We probably lost some very specific viewers of the show. Like, fuck this guy. But that's cool, man. That's cool. But no, I think like, okay, to get back to your question about like, is our Dudeist more left leaning? I think that yes, but I've also heard of some very undude Republican. Well, I shouldn't say even Republican. It's such a weird term because like the MAGA influence of like, let's insult people as a way to get one over on everyone, and like, let's have like dick measuring contests on a daily basis because like their leader with low self-esteem did that, and so let's all do that. Like, I just, it's so weird now how there's like, so I honestly think most people are more like skits, libertarian but fucking open-minded. Like, yeah, maybe vote Republican, but like listen to the idea. It's like there are
Don't
so
vote.
many
Fuck 'em.
people. Yeah, well, there are so many people that can't seem to hold like contrasting ideas in their head and just sort of like, maybe it's true, maybe it's not.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is so fun about this is we're able to have those discussions where we can kind of all hold these ideas and just sort of like, flick them around and shit. But like,
Well, and I can see that the reason that I think Dudeism would appeal to left-leaning people is the same reason I think it would appeal to people with a more libertarian streak, is that Dudeism is largely about if people are doing something and it's not hurting anybody else, who the fuck cares? And I think libertarians and left-wing people, I think, would agree on that. If they're not hurting anybody, fuck it. Who cares?
well, and look at I think this, okay, So there are certain things in the movie that for me like fucking like captured me. And one of them, actually both of them, are things that he did to men of authority. Like, the Big Lebowski is like the fucking rich guy. He's got the big mansion and all the money. And what does he do? Old man tells me I can take any rug in the house with the most casual. He's got his fucking shades on as the biggest boss in the universe walking out of there. And he didn't need to put anyone down to do that. He didn't need to, insult the Big Lebowski and be like, well, I'll tell you, sir, you can't call me a bum. He didn't get all up in his fifis about it. He fucking did something about it. And then with the cop of Malibu, he realized he had absolutely no power in that situation. So he just sits there like this. Like,
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Sorry, I wasn't listening. Like one of the most it's such a fuck you, but it's also like what obligation does he have to listen to you? He's been drugged up. You dragged him in there. Like, who the fuck are you, man? So I think that's more what it is.
You admire that the first thing that the dude took the rug from the Big Lebowski. Do you admire that?
Fuck yes, mostly because of how he did it. Because he did it in such like any rug in the house. Think of how big that house has to be. Think of how many rooms have rugs in them. Think of how little that man clearly cares about any of his fucking possessions to have so many of them. I can't imagine having that many things I fucking care about.
It was still theft. It was still theft.
Okay.
He didn't steal anything.
Like,
he didn't steal a thing.
Without permission. Now, granted, he stole from the rich, so in a sense, he was like Robin Hood. Robbing the rich.
He didn't
give to the poor with himself.
He did not touch that rug until it was at his apartment. He didn't steal shit.
Legally, he did. He obtained it by misrepresentation. Legally, that is theft.
He didn't steal shit.
We got a lawyer in the audience, Skits. It's all sorry.
We have a criminal in the fucking audience. It's not theft. I could get away with that.
Oh,
so
shit.
how is that not stealing? He lied to Brand and told Brand that the Big Lebowski said he could take any rug in the house, which was a lie.
No,
he
he's full of shit. John, he's full of shit. He's trying to get off on a technicality.
Right. The dude has no obligation to make sure that Brandt is correctly doing Brandt's own fucking job. Which is probably to verify that this fucking homeless guy that just showed up is cool to take a fucking rug out of your house.
But it still means he's stealing it. He only was able to steal it because of his incompetence. But I see your point.
No, Brandt stole a rug and gave it to...
Adam, how do you admire that? I don't understand how you admire
I admire it because of who the Big Lebowski is. Because these rich fucks, you know what I mean? This whole fucking thing, like, it's to me, it's vulgar. To me, it's like you're getting mad at like throwing a blanket on on someone doing a striptease in a park. It's like some things are just meant to be, like have that in a fucking palace where we can pay like Hearst Castle. I love Hearst Castle. You pay a couple dollars, you walk through the mansion, you see the pretty things, you go on your way. You want pretty things, like fine, they're fucking up there. But like, I think it's vulgar that anyone needs to have like more money than Jesus and not do anything with it. Like, does he have, well, I guess he does have nihilists living in his house. So, in a way.
Well, you're right on that point, but how does it make it okay to steal from him?
I got to put that in volume 2. Let's nihilist use his pool for the dude aspect.
I don't know. I look at it from a slightly different perspective, that the dude's rug gets pissed on because the Big Lebowski's wife owes money all over town, including to known pornographers, which is cool. And he goes to the Big Lebowski and he gives the Big Lebowski the opportunity to make it right. All he wanted was his rug cleaned. He goes there to get that. The Big Lebowski basically tells him to fuck off and insults him. Right. And it's like, was it technically, morally, ethically correct? Yes. Probably not. But I also completely understand the motivation that he had a simple request, and this fucking asshole calls him a bum and basically starts screaming at him, gets extraordinarily angry.
And here's my bottom
Cal,
line.
you're
Here's my bottom line
wrong.
of morality is he didn't cause any harm to anyone by doing that. That's the thing. It was a harmless, victimless crime.
I mean, you're saying if you steal from a rich person and the rich person doesn't notice that the money or the thing stolen is gone, it's okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Interesting. All
How
right.
the
I would
fuck do you have so
disagree,
much
but
money and so many things that someone can take it from you? I mean, like, you know, if someone steals like something out of my shed, I'm not going to notice for a month, but like, you know what I mean? Some people just, it's not. And that's the thing about, I think, the planet that we live on. It is so varied in terms of like what people think is okay to do. But I think if you have millions or billions of dollars, like, okay, so you want to know what I think about on a regular basis? You want to know how many seconds, how many a million seconds is 11 days. You want to know how much a
yes,
billion seconds is? 31
it's like
fucking
31.
years. Like, I
Yeah.
think about that all the time. So when we talk about like millionaires, like I have a friend who's a millionaire and he just has like a little nicer house, little nicer car, but like still has, you know, shit to deal with. But like when you get to the level of a billionaire, it's like, it's almost like you actually are like that movie. You're living on another fucking planet, like above the planet. You know, you have a whole different like world that you are able to exist in that absolutely nobody else is even able to exist in. And I don't really, this is actually a tangent because we're not talking about the Big Lebowski. He's a, you know, a broke ass millionaire. But like, I just think if we're talking about the planet, I just think there shouldn't be allowed to be people who have so much money and do jack diddly shit, but buy yachts within yachts. That's what the fuck they thought of. They got bored with their yachts. They had too much fucking money after they bought their yacht. So they decided, what if we build a yacht within a yacht? Not how to feed fucking children, not how to educate the next generation, not how to bring peace on earth. And you know what else gives a lot of profits to a lot of people? Fucking war does. So here we are, and guns do. So here we are, because this world is run by profit. And until people like fully on a massive level wake up to that, nobody's going to stand up to it. We're all like, oh, we can justify it other ways. But it's all profit.
So we all agree that people are the problem.
We all agree.
Yeah.
All right. So no
They
fists
have names.
because
They have
people are the
addresses.
problem.
Those people have names and they have addresses. I think about that too.
They have replacements.
Some people are the problem. I wouldn't say all people are the problem. And incidentally, I note that the dudes going to the Big Lebowski for compensation of a rug was not his idea. It was Walter's idea. Walter put him up to it. The dude by himself would not have done that.
It's true, but okay, here's the other reason I admire it, John, is because it was such a like mental jujitsu move. Like he so skillfully blocked the aggression. Like when he said the aggression will not stand, yeah, he was stealing the line, but he meant it. Like just like Gandalf beat that fucking dragon, like the dude did not let that shit get him down. Am I right, Cal? Cal knows about Lord of the Rings. Big Star Wars fan too. Everybody write Cal about your Star Wars opinions.
You're saying he's a thief, but he was a clever thief, and you admire him for being a clever thief.
Because it's like stealing a penny. You know what I mean? It's like if someone stole a penny from me in a really clever way, I would pat them on the back and give them a second penny. You know, like who cares? It's a trifle, it's a bauble, it's a nothing to the Big Lebowski. It's a fucking rug. To the dude,
although as we learned, okay. I mean, as we learned later on, that rug had sentimental value, so it was not a penny.
Right.
But only to Maud, who got it back.
Right. Maud took matters into her own hands, man. I admire that too. You know what I mean? I don't hate Maud for stealing the rug back and punch. Did her goons need to punch the dude in the face? Maybe. It was all part of her sick pregnancy thing.
Well, yeah, because he got punched in the face, but he got sent to a doctor who is a very good man and thorough.
So, maybe a little too fucking thorough.
So it's okay to punch someone in the face as long as you refer them to the right doctor and are willing to pay the bill.
There you go.
I don't know.
Honestly,
Cal, you want to
the
take
whole
that one?
movie could have
I'm out.
the whole movie could have ended right there if they had not punched the dude in the face. If they had just said, "Hey, I'm here to get this rug back," he would have pled again. Look, motherfuckers, somebody peed on my damn rug, and Maud would have paid for a brand new fucking rug, but whatever. If they had just not punched him in the face, that right there is the
No, they
catalyst
needed to punch
that
him in the
breaks the
face.
movie.
No, they needed to punch him in the face so that he would have to go to the doctor so that he would be examined to be determined if he could be a proper father for Maud's baby.
Do you think that she had
That was
predetermined
the
that
whole
before meeting
thing.
him?
Yeah, that was the. Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But the point is, going to the doctor moved forward the plot of his being the father of Maud's baby.
That's a good
Yeah,
point,
but
though.
if
But like, what would she have done if the dude didn't get punched in the face? You know?
Exactly. That's the question. He had to get punched in the face.
But then
she's
I
rich,
think she was.
he could have gotten hurt another way. I don't think
It's
that was
true.
reasonable.
It's true, but it's an interesting
I
question.
mean, they could have broken his legs instead. I don't know. Anything to get him to the doctor's office.
Right, get his balls checked on.
Yeah, something.
Fucking Maud. I don't know. I mean, yeah, man. Well, okay. I will say this. The two, because we're talking about some deep shit. So I'm gonna talk about like the two deepest lessons that I got from The Big Lebowski. Was the first one is like attachment causes, chaos. Attachment causes pain. Like because the dude became like Walter convinced him to be attached to the idea of like justice for his rug, or attached to the rug in the first place, and not just saying fuck it and either having pee stains on his rug or just getting a new one somehow, or existing without one, even if it tied the room together. But it's like because he was attached to that was the problem with the whole fucking thing. And the second one is, if you just let shit go, life is easier. Shit's still going to happen, but like it's just and I don't know how we can keep letting shit go when it's so terrible, but maybe that's if it were easy, then it wouldn't be worth doing.
Exactly. Exactly right. That's the whole point of Dudeism, that it is not just a religion, it is a discipline. It is a practice. I mean, I know it sounds weird to say that Dudeism involves discipline, but it does. Letting go of shit is difficult. Yeah. That's the whole practice of Dudeism.
Yeah, and when you think about it in the movie, as to what Adam just said, when you think about it, because Maud does get the rug back when her goons punch the dude. So at the end of the movie, the dude is bowling with Walter. He has only the pee-stained rug. His car's a little worse off, but he's no better off than if he had done nothing at all. So, when you think about it, if he had taken the easy path, the path of least resistance, and just, okay, fuck, these guys pissed on my rug. All right, well, I'll deal with that. If he had just done that, he would have ended up actually slightly better off because his car wouldn't have been set on fire. He would have been better off if he had done nothing.
Absolutely.
Right, but he didn't know that at the time.
No, he didn't. And I think you're right that it left to his own devices, the dude wouldn't have done anything. He'd have bitched and moaned about it a little bit. Walter egged him on into it, and Walter got him riled up.
Yeah.
And
well, and you talk about the balance and things, and the like symbol of Dudeism, the yin yang. It's like there's a little bit of Walter in the dude, and there's a little bit of dude in Walter. I mean, we talk about the dude in Walter,
Yes.
that he wants to be that. He recognizes the value of that. You can't just always pull a piece out on the lanes. But like, look how quickly he lets that shit go. I would need years of therapy to let it go if I pointed a gun at someone's head with a finger on the trigger. Like, fuck, that's like, you almost killed a guy. Like what? And then he's just walking out like,
You're
well,
talking about Smokey? You're
did
talking
not
about
know that,
Smokey?
dude.
You're
Water and
talking about
beverage.
Smokey?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, Smokey and Walter would have needed therapy after that, except
No, I'm
Walter
saying,
is a tremendously damaged human being before.
yeah, I'm saying if I were Walter, but the ease with which he pulled a piece out on the lanes to me is like, well, shit, he really must have been to Vietnam. He must have really seen, the gaping maw of hell, to be able to be
Just
that
afraid.
casual about water under the bridge. What did you say, Skits?
Just afraid. That's all you gotta be. Just afraid.
I don't know. I think if you were super afraid, he'd be like, a little freaked out after that encounter. Like, oh man, dude, I had to pull a piece out because I was so afraid. Like, no,
Not crazy.
it's just a
A
line in
lot,
the
a lot of
He's not
people
a.
sand.
downplay. A lot of people downplay like how much insanity actually runs through a normal person. Um,
It's true.
I I don't know.
I,
We gotta
I don't.
get you guys into
I
some
don't.
worse neighborhoods.
I don't think for a second the dude was, or not the dude, that Walter was actually afraid of Smokey. I think Walter's mindset is just he has his core beliefs as to what is right and what is
Yeah,
fair, and the
Yes.
ends 100% justify the means all the time.
Across
yeah.
this
That's fear.
line,
That's
you
fear
do not.
of anything infringing on him.
Okay, fair
Yeah,
enough.
that's fair. No,
I
it's fair.
thought you meant he was afraid of Smokey. It's like, Smokey's a pacifist.
No, 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 no.
These men are not. These men are pacifists, dude. There's nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
No, but it's funny you actually say like, well, two things you guys said actually correlate with something I heard this week. So, John, you said about Dudeism kind of being more of a practice than a religion, or being a practice and a religion, I guess, as one.
Yes.
Um,
It's both. Yes.
I mean, that's the nature of Buddhism as well. Nobody they don't worship the Buddha. They have a practice that Buddhists are called to do. And I think Dudists are called to, just let shit go, take it easy, not
Actually,
worry
it's
about
true
that
of
shit.
all religions have practices.
Yeah,
Even if
but
it's going to church
yeah,
once a week, giving to
okay.
charity, whatever.
But
All
can
religions have
we agree?
practices.
Can we agree that one of the main religions in this country, not naming names, has it way more about the beliefs? Like, we have the correct beliefs, and we go to church and we listen to people talk about those beliefs every week, and that's like the whole practice. Like, I think for a lot of people. So I don't know, but then there are those people that like genuinely get a lot out of the practices of any major religion, truly. So I don't know, and I think that's part of the dude's good nature, is that everyone's just cool, like fucking A, do your thing.
I
So
think I have to agree that a lot of people spanning all religions, including most people involved with all religions, are more habit than they are practice. But the practice gets fucking dangerous because that's where you start getting fucking extremism and like fucking weirdos and shit. I'd really
exactly.
like
Well,
to see an
any
extremist.
Oh,
I want to see an
any
extremist Dudist. You know what I mean? SWAT team called in. He's gone into the Lazy Boy factory. He's sitting in one right off the line. Fuck you guys, corporate pigs.
well, that's the thing, is like the extremists of a religion seem to think that they're being called to like cause harm to someone in the name of, and the dude is like, fucking have peace in the name of, smoke a J in the name of. So it's like that,
That's actually a very interesting question. What would an extremist Dudeist be like? Or is there
someone
even
who is,
such a thing?
no, there is. I think it'd be someone who like refuses to, you know, harm another, to like, I don't know, maybe only in self-defense. Like, I don't
An
So
know.
that's good.
extremist
So an
Dudist is somebody
extremist
you'll
Dudeist
never
is
hear
a
of.
good thing.
Right. You'll never hear about it. You'll never know that they're so extreme. I think I'm an extremist in certain things that people don't know about. But no, like Skits. So my teacher, like my main spiritual teacher, said that this planet is the asylum of the galaxy. And few things have made as much sense as that when you look at the entire world. Like, this planet is like a fucking asylum. Like, we're all crazy in some way or another, you know,
Yeah.
the whole planet.
Yeah,
So
people are the problem.
yeah.
I can't stress that enough. As long as there are a bunch of people, it's just going to we're going to call it worse.
Yeah.
Because eventually it is going to end.
Yeah.
Not the way everybody wants. But like, we've always been bad. We've always been in clans and tribes and this and that. We've always been
Yeah.
secular.
Yeah.
The more there are of us, it's not going to make it better. It's obviously.
George Carlin said it best. He's like, I like every person I've ever met. It's people that I have a problem with. As
Yep.
soon as they start two or more, as soon as they start getting in groups, somehow it's a big fucking problem. Isn't
Yeah,
that?
that's the problem. So learning how to abide through that, I think that is that is why people who are not naturally dude are so attracted to Dudeism. To get back to the very original question, I think.
Yeah.
That's why we're attracted to it, because again, I had to quit reading the fucking news like months ago. I'm in my fucking 30s and I had to stop reading the news unless it is local news about a new sidewalk or something.
Yep.
Because it was stressing me out that bad. You guys are aware of what I do on the side, so you can only imagine the shit that gets sent to me. I don't. If any of my actual Bird Shadow fans are watching any of this shit, I don't read any of the articles. I don't watch any of the videos you guys send me. I can't do it anymore. The world is too fucked up. So I keep it local.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, if you knew there was someone next door and someone showed you a video of what they're doing next door, and you can break down the door and fucking do something about it next door, you know what I mean? But like, what, in the absence of that, like, what can we do next door? You know, go to our fucking landlord's cycles, you know, like, go clean up a park. Like, I love those videos where it's like the time lapse of like the people get the vests and the little pickers and the trash bags and they clean up a beach, you know, clean up a park, go clean up someone's homeless camp that they left behind, because homeless people love to leave shit behind.
The
like,
people in jail?
I was about to say,
What?
I've been in community service. What?
No,
The people in
dude,
jail
like,
doing community service?
people who do community service just out of the fucking blue, man. It happens. I'm telling you. You know, because try it. Just try it and tell me if you don't feel better. You know, I did a selfless good deed today. I saved 2 people $50 fucking dollars. Listen to this. So in my little downtown community, there is a guy who is very good at his job, and his job is to give people big, fat fucking parking tickets. Like 25 cents gets you half an hour in my town. I think 25 cents in San Francisco is about 30 seconds on a meter. In my town, it's 30 minutes, right? But if you are 1 second over, he finds that meter, $50 fucking dollars for not putting a meter in the, you know, whatever. And I'm like, I fucking hate that. I got one of those tickets and I had to pay it. So mad about it. So I saw the guy and he said something about like, I was parked in front of a hydrant, but like I was picking up my mother-in-law and I thought she was right there. And eventually I parked. Anyway, long story. But I noticed he's walking around doing his rounds and I'm like, I bet there's some fucking meters. Sure enough, I go across the street with 2 quarters in my hand. I find 2 meters on 2 different cars, blinking 0. And I'm like, fuck you, meter guy. Take that. So for 50 cents, I save 2 people $50 and they'll never know about it. And I feel fucking good about it. So
that's great. You're assuming that they're going to return within the next half hour.
Okay, John, you know what? Don't like piss on my rug here. Okay.
They're already in. Those 2 people are actually in jail right now for not paying their tickets last time.
It's true though. There aren't many meters. It's a small little route that this guy walks, and I bet in 30 minutes it's just gonna go. But yeah, I gave him a chance.
You did a beautiful act of kindness.
I gave him a chance.
And my point is, you do not have full control over the outcome.
It's true. It's true. But I know those would have been 2 tickets, 100% for sure, because I know he was about to cross the street and go up the other way. So just saying, for sure those were tickets. They might still be tickets 30 minutes later, but hey, you know, can't be worried about that.
And then
You did
And then
good.
for not
You did
reaching
good.
his quota, he's going to get fired and his kids are going to starve because of you.
There's always a replacement. There's always a replacement, you know? But that's just the thing, man. See, like what I really believe, like, and Dudeism, you know, is lacking in this way because it doesn't get all the way down to like what the fuck is it? It leaves it up to you. Like, I don't know, dude. We just don't know. But what I think it is like just a dream of an infinite being, a dream of infinity. You know, not even a being, because a being signifies like boundaries, but it's not even a being. It's just infinity. It's just going on forever, repetitiously, like, but it's
Uh, That
forever.
that that's interesting because Dudeism has kind of led me down a different path
I know.
where I am completely okay nowadays with the possibility that there is nothing beyond us. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what else is out there.
Yeah.
It might be nothing, and that's fine. I'm still going to live my best to enjoy every day that I have.
Right.
My favorite thing about the, the whole claim of, which again I don't know, probably not, but I don't know if there is anything out there where they're like, just look around you, you know what I mean? Like, how could this not be? And I'm like, it fucking rains diamonds on like fucking Saturn or Neptune or
It does.
something. Like
Yeah.
there's shit going so far away that we don't even know that it's there.
Yeah.
That this being the center of morality,
No, I think the baffling scale of the known unknown points to the idea that the unknown unknown is like literally unfathomable. I like to think about shit like that. Like I like to think about the fact that time isn't real. Like how the fuck? You know, that's one you can trip on for an entire lifetime. But
Time is real. My watch tells me the time.
it's a
right,
liar. I bet
right.
you believe
It's
in
a
pigs.
liar, bro.
My watch is not a liar. It is a very good product that serves me very well.
Yeah,
Dude, I
under
mean,
man-made time construct.
see, okay, we need to get
There used to
Caleb.
be 13 months, and we just got rid of one. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, time's real, sure.
Right,
Timelines are real.
right.
I'll try explaining that to the judge next time I show up late for court, and I'll let you know how it goes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Please report
ask your
back.
dogs if time is real.
Hey,
Right.
is time real?
Because they
She
have
doesn't know.
no concept of it
She don't know.
whatsoever because it
Yeah.
doesn't exist.
No.
Yeah, she's just happy I'm talking to her.
Well,
Exactly. That's all time is.
speaking of
Happiness.
not existing, I think we have a very real question, and is that do we have 4 guests here tonight? Are there 4
Yeah.
of us, or are there 3? John,
Yeah.
you still with us, buddy?
I'm still here.
See, okay.
Now we can't see you,
But
it's okay.
if I could just say to our viewers, as because we're wrapping this up, it's about time. We had this is so much fun, but I gotta say it wouldn't be a session with John without having some sort of tech issue. So I think this is just absolutely right
Blame
on
it on
brand.
me. There you go. Blame it on me.
I knew something was missing. I knew something was missing, and you're right. It does feel better now.
No, it's your whole setup. It's everything you have that seems to work against you, John. It's not you. It's not affecting us. You know, it's just your beautiful faces off the screen for a minute, but it's all good.
Really? Because
But,
I have him frozen, and I'm gonna be honest. The lighting it's working for you, John. I hope this is what the viewers get to see.
Sitting in a dark room.
With
There's a light on next.
Yeah, this one you're catching the light just right off the laptop, man. I mean, you're looking good.
Okay, I say to close it out today, we give him skits. Hit him with a classic skits question. Taster's choice.
Okay. I'm gonna go with my favorite one ever. All right, if you could be in any scene in the movie, not as a main character, you can be your own background character or take the place of an already existing background character. What scene and who would you play?
let me make sure I understand the question.
So,
You're
can I give you an
asking,
example? Can I give you an example?
yeah.
So, someone once
Yes.
said that they would be the guy in the coffee shop when Walter's throwing his fit, and they would just turn around and give him that disapproving look. Or someone else said that they would be in the dance scene with Maude, like as the camera operator going underneath all the girls' skirts, or something like that. Like, what scene would you put yourself in if you could be in The Big Lebowski?
You mean as an actor or in real life?
No, just playing the character in the movie.
Playing the character in the movie, yeah.
Oh, so I'm an extra in the movie.
Which extra would you be in which scene?
This is not real life. I'm an extra.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting question.
We lost Cal. Let's hope we get him back to hear this.
Yeah, we did lose Cal. I'm not sure of the purpose of the question, if it has anything to do with Dudeism at all.
It doesn't. It's just fun.
It's just okay.
Just like Dudeism itself, it is absurd and somewhat pointless.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'd get a kick out of the interactions between Walter and the dude and the Jesus. I think that'd be kind of fun, where where Jesus threatens to shoot Walter, and Walter tells the dude that he had to go door to door informing people that he was a sex offender. That'd be kind of fun to witness.
So you're just a random bowler walking through that scene?
No,
yeah, I think that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, overhearing that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, man, that's a good one. All right, well, we're abiding in this crazy asylum, but I think one of the cool things about Dudeism is just the simple fact that we have each other. If it weren't for Dudeism, I never would have met any of the three of you, but because of Dudeism, I am glad that I did. And glad that we're doing all this shit, and and what a silly thing to do, to make a podcast about a religion, about a movie, about a guy that may be the laziest man in Los Angeles and potentially high in the running worldwide. Like, what a ridiculous thing to do. What fun.
I learned from that. At the very beginning, when the stranger calls him possibly the laziest man in the city, I thought it was an insult. And it's only later on I realized it's not an insult at all. It's a compliment. Mm-hmm. Usually calling someone lazy is an insult.
Right. Well, and
he was a man for his time and place.
Right. And he prefaced it by saying, dude is not a word that anyone would use where I come from. But he then flipped the word lazy on his head, like you said. So I think that's what's fun about the movie is, you can, it kind of plays with ideas like that.
Yes.
And one of the ideas is that, authority needs to be obeyed. And that's what we grow up in school. Like, what does school teach you? That authority is to be unquestioned, and that, deviation from the norm is to be punished, and that's been school for many decades. And the dude is like, fuck that, man. Just, be yourself, whatever. It's cool. You got any Kahlua? I think, when Maude is trying to rile him up and he just is not taking the bait, he doesn't take anyone's bait. He doesn't take anyone's shit to put his shit on other people. And if we can be more like that.
Where she asked if the word vagina makes him uncomfortable?
Right.
She's trying to make him uncomfortable by saying vagina.
Vagina. It's like a shit test. She just lobs it out there. This fucking verbal bomb. Just vagina. And Julianne Moore is the perfect actress to do it too, because she's just so deadpan, but just vagina. That is maybe one of my favorite 1 second of the movie is just when she says that word.
Would that get most men upset with the word vagina? I don't think it would upset most men.
Okay, so
I'm from the Midwest. It makes a lot of people uncomfortable, men and women.
The context where she's coming from is a very feminist, anti like this suburban patriarchal, what's the word I'm trying to think of, puritanical, like this puritanical idea that like we don't talk about that kind of stuff, that's behind closed doors.
So it would offend some people, but if you're a Dudeist to begin with, like us, it wouldn't offend any of us, I don't think.
No. And that's
I think the idea is some men would get offended by a woman so openly taking agency of her own sexuality.
Yeah, there you go. That women's sexuality is the property of men is a hallmark of the traditional society in which, the stoic cowboy, illustrated by the narrator, and the, proper businessman who has overcome obstacles and achieved, that's like the standard. Who do we put on the fucking cover of magazines? Elon Musk and Jeff fucking Bezos. Well, it's probably because he owns the fucking magazine, but anyway. But like, that's who is held up as the standard, and that's, I think, what Dudeism's greatest triumph is saying, no, look at this fucking guy, laziest guy in Los Angeles, maybe worldwide. Here's what's a hero, but like, here's the fucking guy. This is the guy, And so how are we the guy? And that's what I believe is we were all put in this very specific place for very specific reasons, because we can each be the man for a time and place. But we need to say fuck you to all the influences that are saying, sit in this box, fit in this box, be this square, when really you're a fucking beautiful little hexagon,
But it's more subtle than that. He says fuck you, but he doesn't do it in a belligerent way. So when he's being attacked by the Malibu police chief, he's just nonchalant about it. And similarly, when his head is being shoved into the toilet, he's not. I don't think I'd be capable myself of being so nonchalant, either when I'm beaten up by a police officer or when I'm having my head stuffed in the toilet. I probably would have failed those two tests. Whereas I would have been okay with a woman saying vagina to me like Julianne Moore did.
God damn it. We got to do part 2, you guys. I'm all fired up to talk for another fucking hour again.
Save the best for last.
That's what I'm saying. But like, I will just say this though, that like, fuck it. Skits, you go. I'm done. I'm going to talk for another hour if I keep talking.
Yeah, no, we're getting out of here, guys. We're dragging this on. This whole thing is ludicrous.
This is ludicrous. The whole fucking story. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate each and every one of you. Tune in 2 weeks. Maybe if I feel like uploading it, then I will. But John will have you back. Thanks for joining us again, buddy. Good to see you.
Oh, yeah. Good to see you, John.
It was fun.